Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London, and this morning I'm looking at a review of a book which we have produced this autumn. It's from Tolley LexisNexis, and it's a book we've reviewed before in tax. This book is called Tiley Collison's UK Tax Guide 2014 to 15. Never quite know whether it's Tiley or Tilly, but I think it's Tiley. It's been edited by two people who probably well know, Keith M. Gordon and Ximena Montes Manzano, and I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Now, my wife Elizabeth and I have reviewed this book, which we'll have a look at it up there. We'll have a look at it in a minute. We've given it the title, Attention Tax Lawyers and Accountants. Tiley Collison's UK Tax Guide is now available from Tolley in the latest edition for 2014 to 15. Now, it's a heavy book. It's a paperback. You can see what it looks like. There it is. There's the front, the spine, and the back, and there's a lot of detail on the back. You can see the three logos on the front from Tolley, from Atlas Tax Chambers, and from CTA, which is Chartered Tax Advisor. Now, the book itself is actually, the pages are quite flimsy, so you've got to be a little bit careful, but 3,000 pages. That's the actual index you can see right at the back. But it's 3,000 pages, and as I say, it's a heavy book. You've got the table of cases at the back. Normally they're at the front, as you probably know, but on this occasion they're actually at the back. Then after that you've got a range of other quite useful things. You've got tables of statutes also at the back. You can see how heavy it is by the way I'm holding it. If we go through the book, you can see again the basis of it. You've got paragraph numbering, which you can see at the sides there, which are there, and then there are some footnotes as well which are quite useful, specifically section numbers of acts and that sort of thing. Now, that's the front page of it there. Then you've got a very useful, we've actually got a list of the specialist contributors. I must mention them. I can't go through all their names, but thank you to all of them for producing this excellent statement of law. Then you have a main preface from September 2014 from Keith Gordon at Gray's Inn Square, which sets out what he's actually doing with this. Then you have the contents itself. Do look at the preface very carefully, because you'll see what changes there are. It starts with fundamentals of tax, income tax, and it goes on to the CGT and all the other various taxes, corporation, inheritance, stamp, VAT, and so on. Then after that you get into the what are called the fundamentals, which is the basics of the subject, and I'll just get that for you so you can see it there. Probably just make that out, and then after that you go into the various sub-details of that particular chapter and gives you an overview of various things. There is, I mean, you do have this unfortunate business there, for instance, almost a full page of footnotes, but these things unfortunately do happen from time to time. It's a very good book, and it's very well known to many people, and I'm very pleased to be able to do another review of it. As I say, these books are actually very good value for money as well. They're not expensive, so they're actually well worth investing in. Now, this is what we say anyway about the book. Practitioners, and indeed anyone involved professionally in providing tax advice, will welcome this hot off the press Tolley's Tiley Collison's UK Tax Guide 2014 to 15, newly minted from LexisNexis. It offers a range of features which are presented in one hefty, it is hefty, yet handy volume, and it's therefore exceptionally useful, as well as exceptionally good value for money, which I've indicated. The outstanding feature of the guide is that it functions as a self-contained textbook, which is a very handy point, especially for students. Even handier are the numerous cross-references which take place, whether necessary or appropriate, to the information contained in the LexisNexis loose leaf publications, which we don't normally review. We only do the books because that's what they send us. And I'm delighted to review these because we do put the reviews in the journals as well as on the web. So do have a look out for what we've said about them. Obviously the web does syndicate, so they go to libraries and across the world, so people do actually see the value of this particular publication. In this brand new edition, the reader will find discussions of all legislation enacted and all cases reported up to the end of August 2014, including notably the recent changes within the Finance Act 2014, if you remember that came in July. We're recording this at the end of October, so it's very topical at the moment. Commentary is also included in the book on the employee shareholder share scheme, as well as employee ownership trusts, social enterprise investments, NISAs, DOTAs, follow-up requests, and alternative dispute resolution ADR also covered. And obviously that's important because of the way things are going within the legal services sector at the moment. Within this guide, more than 3,000 pages of it, all the principal taxes are examined and explained, and here the clarity of approach of this otherwise complicated subject is to be commended in our view. The book covers, for example, income tax, capital gains tax, corporation tax, inheritance tax, national insurance contributions. Notice they're not called taxes. Stamp duties, stamp taxes, and VAT. International issues such as foreign income and offshore funds are also discussed, and note that the two editors, who are both acknowledged experts in this field, have skillfully included the work of 10 additional expert contributors. They're mentioned on the front, and thank you again to them, placing as a result a wealth of insights and knowledge at the reader's disposal. The major concerns this year regarding tax are, you could say, briskly summarised in the preface, which is, as I've indicated, is worth reading every time. Tax avoidance, predictably, has emerged as a prominent issue, and probably one for the election. But it seems that HMRC itself has come in for particular pointed criticism. The editorial observation is that practitioners complain, quote, that intransigence now appears to be the watchword at HMRC, in the apparent hope that the taxpayer will eventually be browbeaten into submission. Concerns also been expressed that certain changes to the Finance Act this year and last year effectively penalise taxpayers who wish to exercise their legal rights to challenge HMRC in the tribunals and or courts. Obviously that's a view that they are putting forward, and one that probably is shared by quite a lot of people. Most practitioners, of course, will probably heartily agree with this, because I think in many ways it's a word of warning, if I could put it in a slightly different way. Although it's fair to say that such opinions, especially when challenged or denied, should generate lively debate, to say the least. And obviously that has continued on the television and in the media generally. And as I say, there is the problem, of course, of the use of the tribunal, both in this area and, for instance, employment law, where they've introduced very high fees. So that is actually a bit of a deterrent to trying to assert one's rights. And that is part and parcel of the reshaping of justice that we're seeing at the moment in the civil process. So let me conclude by saying, with its range of time-saving features, informed commentary and research resources which have been included, including some 250 pages of cases, statutes, and a 55-page index at the back. Very substantial, very helpful to find things, I hasten to add. The guide's comprehensiveness, clarity and ease of use make it an essential purchase for the conscientious practitioner, and the British Tax Review has called it the leading UK tax handbook, and a view which few would disagree. The publication date is cited as September 2014 from Keith Gordon's preface. Now there's the book again, heavy, 3,000 pages, the back of it, just opening it up anywhere. Here we go, you've got quite an interesting area there. You can see a standard structure for the book, looking at something particularly important. Businesses and capital gains tax there and relief. You've got a huge amount of information stored up here, which is extremely helpful, I think, for everybody involved in this area. To be blunt, it's a boring area for many people, but it's a very important area, and it's one that I think many people need to know more about. And I'm very grateful that we have the facility in this country with the common law to have this approach, which blends the statutes with the case authorities. So thank you to the two authors and to Lexis and the contributors for an excellent publication for this financial year. Bye-bye.